Oh, there's a pretty one, Ulysses. There it is.
Hello BookTube, I'm Sean the Book Maniac. Welcome back to my channel. Here I am bright and early, Friday morning, just after 7. I've had trouble getting the right camera angle to stay out of the glare of the rising sun in the land of the rising sun. My new favorite spot over there is where I'm completely backdropped with green trees, but there's no protection from the sun, and even though it's only 12 degrees, I cannot film with the sun shining so brightly in my eyes. I have to always remember that's the place to go on a cloudy day or a somewhat cloudy day. So I'm kind of behind that, and the sun's going to move around, and we're just going to go with it, okay? So I've had a fantastic reading week after kind of a crappy month in October. So this bodes well for how things will go in November. I finished 2 books. The first one, I just posted a review last night. A novel by the Serbian writer Danilo Kiš, Psalm 44, translated from the Serbian by John K. Cox. I loved it. It wasn't a perfect novel. It blew me away. See my review. It was a fantastic buddy read with Lukáš of Totally Pretentious. We buddy read his masterpiece, A Tomb for Boris Davidovich, last fall and loved it. And this one isn't as good as that, but it's still an amazing piece of literature that, if you can deal with the subject matter, is one that I heartily recommend. So enough said about that. The second one I finished last night, and that is The Odd Women by George Gissing, wasn't it published in the 1890s? 1893. This is one of the best novels of the Victorian period. It's just I would say it's a perfect novel. It's about spinsters and the beginning of the feminist movement in terms of work and education, and it's so character-centered, and the plot is so intricately woven through with those social political ideas and a cast of memorable and deeply nuanced characters. I was moved. I almost cried a couple of times in a Victorian novel. Doesn't happen very often. I'm still thinking about it. I'm going to do a full review. The other thing is that it just really works as a bridge from the Victorian novel to, I don't know enough about Edwardian fiction to say to the Edwardian novel, but certainly to early 20th century. It's much more complicated in its ending and much more satisfying, much more modern in its ending. I just thought it was beautiful. It's the highlight of my Victober, for sure. Those were 2 awesome books, both 5-star reads. And I have started a whole bunch of new books. And there's at least one surprise that I just decided to add on a whim. I have started my buddy read with Greg of Supposedly Fun of the BookTube Prize-winning novel by John Boyne, A Ladder to the Sky, and I'm going to be uncharacteristically circumspect. I'm saving my thoughts on this. No preliminary verdict. I will do a full review when I finish next week, so stay tuned for that, but I don't think you will be bored by what I have to say. I just got a bare start on Cousin Bet, the Balzac novel. This is a buddy read with Ange Beyond the Pages. We haven't even checked in yet. We're reading it over 2 months, 17 chapters a week, and our first check-in will be this Sunday. I have only read 7 chapters, so I got 10 chapters to read over the next 3 days. That'll be easy. They're short chapters. I'm enjoying it. The way the story is setting out, I can already tell that it's about nasty people doing nasty things in their personal lives in early 19th century France, but so far, I'm enjoying reading about all that. And I have started this massive biography of the Pankhurst family, a family of political radicals, especially feminists and suffragists, called The Pankhursts, The History of One Radical Family by Martin Pugh. 4 chapters in. This is a buddy read with Britta Bowler, and we are both really enjoying it. It's quite well written and very engaging. I thought the opening chapter, which was a introduction to the cultural, political, social history of Manchester in the 19th century, was just incredible. I didn't know very much about any of that and was fascinated. So, and the Pankhursts were an interesting bunch of people. They did great things and they had colorful lives. going to read this at a slow pace with Britta. She's being very nice to me, slowing down to my slow reading pace, and we're enjoying it. And I'm one rather lengthy chapter into The People's Princess by S.W. Jackman. This is a biography of Queen Elizabeth's great-grandmother, Queen Mary's mother, Princess Mary Adelaide of Cambridge. And what a delight so far. This doesn't have the liveliness, the lively prose of James Pope Hennessy, but I don't care. It's well written, it's competently written, and what a fascinating story so far. I have learned so much in the first chapter about the Kingdom of Hanover. I mean, I was vaguely, having read several royal biographies, vaguely aware that there was this weird period of British history where the sovereign of England was also the monarch of Hanover, and then that ended when Queen Victoria came to the throne in 1837 because of Salic law. And Princess Mary Adelaide's father was one of the many, many sons of George III, and he had been the viceroy in Hanover during this Mary's childhood, and so, boy, I learned a lot, and just fascinating. And when Victoria and Albert got married, the Hanoverian royals and the Saxe-Coburg royals had a big squabble about who would take precedence, the Queen's consort or her aunts and uncles. And oh my goodness, what a to-do. Yeah, it's really fantastic. The lighting's getting weird. My chin is glowing. I have too much stuff to lug it and move to a new location, so just imagine me well lit. I have just got a bare start on the Barbara Pym biography by Anne Allistry. It's much more kind of condensed and epigrammatic, little bite-sized chapters about her life. So it's a great review of what I read last year in the Hazel Holt biography, and I'd say the writing here is better than in the Hazel Holt, so yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. But I think I've read 2 chapters of 10 pages or less each. And the one that I added spontaneously, because I have to say, you heard me kind of poo-pooing the idea I wasn't that motivated to do nonfiction November, but I'm really enjoying all the nonfiction that I have started. I really am. That was a fabulous surprise, because my first year on BookTube, I bailed on everything that I was reading. I just didn't want to read any nonfiction. And then I was really negative about nonfiction for the next year. And then I decided to give it an honest try last year, and I really enjoyed myself during Nonfiction November. But then I didn't read very much nonfiction after that, other than my pet obsessions, the royal family or whatever, or biographies of writers that I loved. And I'm not venturing too far out of those obsessions with what I have chosen this year, but I'm just really enjoying it. So I decided to add one more to the mix. On audio, I have started a gay memoir hot off the press called Unicorn, the Memoir of a Muslim Drag Queen by Amru Al-Qadi, and it is fantastic on audio. Al-Qadi identifies as a non-binary individual, so they narrate their own audiobook, and it's masterfully done. They have a fabulous British accent, and the audio performance is stunning. And it opens with a powerful scene where they get so discomfited during a drag performance in, was it Manchester? Anyway, it wasn't London, but some smaller city in the UK in recent years, because there are 3 Muslim women dressed in full hijab in the audience. And the author has so much anxiety about being judged by these women, these very traditionally attired Muslim women in the audience, and all of their memories about their relationship, very complicated and conflictual relationship with their own mother, floods their consciousness during this act, and then those women seek the author out after the performance, and it's heartrending and beautiful. I couldn't recommend this more highly. I'm only about a third of the way in, but it's really intelligently, entertainingly performed and written. I am stunned by how much I'm enjoying it. So, fantastic. Woo! And the last one is my buddy read with Joe Smith. This is a collection of short stories by Anita Desai called Diamond Dust. And to be honest, the first 2 stories haven't really impressed us all that much. The first one had some strengths to it, but some weaknesses in the second one I thought was pretty bad. But keep reading, and always enjoy a good buddy read with Joe. Whether the book is any good or not, the buddy read always is. So, that's what I've started. I think that's enough, don't you? But no, not quite. Because in the coming week, I'm going to be starting 2. I think today I want to finally get a start on the first tranche of the Faber stories. This is the last one that Doris and I have to discuss. Sarah Hall's Mrs. Fox. She has already got her video to me on the first 15 pages. I have never read anything by Sarah Hall, and hoping that I like it, because it would be a nice change to enjoy one of these stories. And the buddy read of the Barbara Commons novel Our Spoons Came from Woolworths, and this is with Heidi of My Reading Life and cousin of Always Doing, and maybe Ange, but I think Ange is not going to be able to join us, but this starts on Sunday. Now, I haven't had good luck with her. The only one of hers that I have tried is the one with the fabulous title, Who Was Changed and Who Is Dead, and that one didn't work for me at all. That was an early bail, but hopefully this one will go better. So I think we can all agree I've had a fantastic reading week, and I'm looking forward to that readerly bibliomanic energy carrying me through the month. Thanks for watching.